Hey guys, Glad here today. I'm here to bring you guys a new build guide, RambushV2, and it's just been, I've come up with a lot of power builds, and this, honestly, is my favorite power build that I have made to date in Guild Wars 2. So I just kind of want to go over the traits, the armor, and how you would use this in World v World, or PvE, roaming, doing what you would want to do in Guild Wars. So first off, we're going to talk about the armor and the stats you want to use. For the most part, you're going to be running Assassins and Cavaliers gear. A little bit of Zerker mixed in. You're going to run 3 parts Assassins to 3 parts Cavalier on your armor. You usually run the top 3 slots Assassins and the bottom 3 slots Cavs. For the trinkets, you're going to be running the back piece and the earrings as Zerker, and the necklace and the rings as Cavaliers. For the weapons, you're going to want longbow, sword, dagger, and you're going to want to have those Zerker. For the sigils and the runes, you're going to want Sigil of Force, Superior Sigil of Air on the bow, Sigil of Bloodlust on the sword, and Sigil of Air on the dagger. For the runes, we're going to go with Superior Rune of the Ranger to provide you with some additional ferocity and precision, and that 7% damage bonus when you have your active companion. It is really important, guys, to focus on keeping your pet alive. In some situations, it may not always be possible, but keeping your pet alive is going to help you a lot. Alright, as for the utilities, you can run Protect Me, Lightning Reflexes, Signet of the Hunt, and Rampage as 1. That's how I run it. That's what I like. You can swap out Signet of the Hunt for something like Signet of the Renewal, Signet of Stone, Signet of the Wild. It's really up to you. You could even change it out for Sikkim. But for the most part, this is what I run, and this is how I use the build. You can also run Signet of Stone in place of Protect Me. The reason I don't do that is because Signet of Stone has an 80-second cooldown. Protect Me has a 60-second, and also Protect Me is a stun break, where Signet of Stone is not. Usually run the Troll heal. Used to run heal as 1, but for me, the Troll heal has been proving to be a lot better. Guys, we're going to jump into the traits right now. It has a spread of 6062. In Marksmanship, we have Read the Wind, Eagle Eye, Steady Focus, and in Wilderness Survival, we have Empathetic Bond, Hide in Plain Sight, Vigorous Renewal, and Strength of Spirit. Now that we got everything covered, guys, I think we're going to jump into some gameplay, and I'm going to go over how you handle this build in World v World roaming. Okay, guys, now that we've hopped into some World v World gameplay, I'm going to go over what this build is centered around and things to watch out for in World v World, where your traits kind of come into play. This build is a very aggressive mid-range build with lots of damage mitigation. For the most part, if you can keep that mid-range fight, keep it. You don't ever want to go in too close to your opponent and get CC'd down. Like, it's just a bad thing to do. Most of our damage comes from the bow. Most of the damage is going to be done mid to long range. So there's no point in going in close unless you want to get that poison off or that cripple off. It's not a good idea unless you're doing those things. The only time I'd recommend, really pulling out your sword is if you want to get that poison off or you want to avoid some attacks, kind of evade some things. But for the most part, you want to stay in bow and keep the fight mid, long range, keep it to your advantage. so your opponent has to play by your rules. And the kiting is usually a very easy thing to do with this build. You have a knockback, you have tons of cripple application. You switch to sword dagger, you number 2, you jump away. Like it's a very good build to kite your opponent with. Just kind of win that fight where they can't even touch you. Most of the time, the people just try to run because, you know, they can't hit you, so what are they going to do? On the other hand, your offhand sword dagger provides a lot of opportunities for escape for you. So if you ever find yourself in trouble, pull out your sword dagger, kind of evade some attacks, you know, get out of the fight if you have to. It's a really quick escape. And I've used it tons of times in streams to run away from Zergs. And it's just a really, really fast means of escaping. For stun builds, for the most part, if you get knocked back, you get stunned. The hide in plain sight trait is really, really good. Kind of gives you that extra second of not getting hit. You know, your opponent's just looking for you because, you know, he just hit you with a stun and you disappeared. You know, where'd you go? Most people aren't gonna just keep swinging in the same spot. I mean, some do, but for the most part, it's gonna give you that extra bit to kind of regain your footing and get back in the fight. One of the main things about this build that you'll want to utilize is number 4 and number 3 on the longbow. You want to knock your opponent back as much as possible. You want to keep him from doing his power attacks. You want to go stealth whenever you can, so your opponent cannot tell where you are, get them attacks on you, and it's just a lot of damage mitigation to just go into stealth and be stealth for a short amount of time. Another thing I'm going to kind of go into is situational awareness. When you look at the battlefield and you notice one guy, do not tunnel vision. Rangers are a medium armored class and can be very squishy. It is not good for you to tunnel vision an opponent because you can get sideswiped, you know, and just get taken out in the snap of a finger. So situational awareness will help you playing longbow, and it'll kind of give you that situational advantage to just back off the fight, come back in, and just know where all your opponents are, who you need to attack, which one's squishy, which one you can dispatch really quick, and hopefully help you win the fight. As for that, guys, I mean, there's really not much else to this build. Just kind of manage your dodges, make sure you're using your longbow correctly. Not much else I can say. So I hope you guys enjoy the build because I've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of time testing it, working on it. I can honestly say, guys, that I enjoy this build and it is one of my main builds that I run. So I hope you guys really enjoy the build because I have had a lot of fun developing it and making it. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys again have fun with this build. Thank you guys.